Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshiah Israel of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular presentation, we do not intend for it to be long, in part because what we want to do, brothers and sisters, is have it divided into two different aspects, as if to say, brothers and sisters, a part one and a part two. So, in light of that, brothers and sisters, we ask you all to get your pens, your pad, and your paper and to take notes. This presentation is going to be in total, say, over 40 slides. And we call it From Jerusalem to the Hood, the Travels of the Sons of Israel. We ask you all to subscribe to the channel. We ask you all to comment, like, and share, brothers and sisters. And I am going to take down the brand, if we will, brothers and sisters, in this particular case, with the overlay matter. And hopefully everybody is well and will be better. I want to, on a human level, give a much due respect to my lady, Sarah Michaela of the house of Israel. I want to give due respect on a human level to my teachers, to my brothers, to my sisters, to the subscribers, to the people who actually watch the videos, to the people who click like upon it. It is much appreciated. Brothers and sisters, in this presentation, we are going to go over history. And as stated, it is intended to now be a part one and a part two. So if anybody is able to hear, and if you're in good spirits, please type in the number 4 so I know how I can be heard. If you are able to hear, and if you are in good spirits, please type in the number 4. Currently, I am in the state of North Carolina, and I am down here in part to visit with family and to visit with friends. Earlier today, I was with the brother Moray Shael, based out of North Carolina, and spent some hours with him on this Shabbat, and it was very welcoming, and it was very, on my spirit, much needed to be around those of the house of Israel. Shalom Obadiah Yisrael, and thank you for typing that in. So this presentation is sometime past due, and we do hope and understand that we cannot continue on the channel with doing such things. Nonetheless, we appreciate the fact that there are people who have a stick-to-itive matter and wanting to watch the videos. This was supposed to have been done some days ago. It was not. I apologize for such, with traveling and dealing with other matters. But nonetheless, with the time allotted, we would like to pull up the PowerPoint, brothers and sisters, and start in this particular case. Thank you for the time, if we will. We want to ask you all to get your pens, your pads, and your paper, and to take notes. So from here, going to the slideshow, right, we are going to say Shalom, giving honor to the Creator of heaven and earth. And I'm going to, brothers and sisters, at this time, drop this. When I say drop, I mean put it down to the screen. And I'm going to, on my own volition, stop the camera. Why? Because on my particular channel, I like it to where it is not a matter where I want to see. You already saw who a brother is. It's like, you already know what channel it is. And I appreciate the subscribers and the people who watch. So I'm going to take down my picture. It's in, like, say, with a DJ, if they keep on just showing their picture on their DVD, or if they keep on seeing their name on a CD, it's like we already know who you are. You understand? So present the material and let us get on into this particular case, if we will. All right. So let us go to this from the slideshow from the beginning, giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. We ask you all to get your pens, pads, and take notes. Forward, we ask you all to subscribe to the channel. This presentation will focus on the history and conditions of the ancient Israelites and the diaspora in pursuing issues, parentheses, curses that occurred. The Israelites were known as golden sons and became naught. And this happened by first worshiping gods of naught and then by mistreating each other. Israelites acquiring the land of Canaan in the 15th century BCE fell to the Assyrians in the 8th century BCE, the Babylonians in the 6th century BCE, the Greeks in the 3rd century BCE, and to the Romans in the 1st century BCE, scattered in this presentation to Western Africa. In force matters from the Ishmaelites over the course of centuries. They fell in part to the Spaniards and Moors in the 15th and 16th centuries AD, brought into bondage in the timing of the 15th to 19th century to places such as New York to Guyana. The Israelites were disconnected from their land and heritage, for he, Israel, was cut off from the land of the living, Isaiah 53. Given unusual customs from Europeans, who were their captors, following the style of the Seleucids, the Israelites were then spiritually disconnected from their God. This presentation attempts to show how did the precious sons of Zion, parentheses Israel, comparable to gold, become dross and one's wine mingled with water? How did the faithful city become filled with murderers? How did the daughters who were not set her foot on the ground for tenderness become cruel? How did the eye become evil toward his brother? What is the solution? These and other issues will be examined in the presentation. Shalom, subscribe to the channel. Care to donate? The Cash App is there. The PayPal is there. My number, 908-587-4841. Constructive criticism can be given. Also, text or call 908-587-4841. Next slide. The kings of Israel and Judah: Jeroboam, Nadab, Baasha, Elah, Zimri, Tibni, Omri, Ahab, Ahaziah, Joram, Yehu, Jehoahaz, Joash, Jeroboam the second, Zechariah, Shalom, Menachem, Pekwahiah, Pekwa, Hoshea. Those that you see there are listed are the kings of Israel. Rehoboam, Abijah, Asa, Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, Ahaziah, Ataliah, Jehoash, Amaziah, Uzziah, Jotam, Ahaz, Hezekiah, Manasseh, Ammon, Josiah, Jehoiachaz, Jehoiakim, Zedekiah. Those are the kings of Judah. So, brothers and sisters, let us, with the highlighter, highlight, if we will, all right, with the time allotted. All right, this portion here, what you're seeing highlighted on the bottom are the list of the kings of Judah. What I'm not going to highlight, so to show the distinction, sorry about that, is the list of the kings of Israel. So you can see such. On the bottom being highlighted is the list of the kings of Judah. What's not being highlighted is the list of the kings of Israel. All right. Now, in the description, you will see when this is uploaded that there are videos that show the translation of the names of these kings. Next slide, please. Hung in Assyria in America. What you're looking at on, what you're going to see underlined in this highlighted matter, is part of the people that were being assassinated that came from the land of Lachish, and being the ancestors of the Israelites, I'm going to use that term, assassinated. What you see here on the right-hand side is an image of a person who was hung within the United States. So be it by impalement of the Assyrians or be it by a lynching of the Americans from Assyria to America, we see what has sadly happened to the sons of Israel. Let us go on to the next part, please. Deuteronomy 28. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fortified walls come down, wherein thou didst trust throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. The siege made on the capital of the northern kingdom was for 3 years. Samaria was the capital, since the era of Ahab, king of Israel. And for a reference quote, you can go into the book, brothers and sisters, of 1 Kings 16. If we remember, the tribes on the east side of the Jordan were Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh. They were taken into captivity by the Assyrian Hazael, 2 Kings chapter 10. So, brothers and sisters, we want to point out that Syrian is Aram. All right. So Syrian and Assyrian are two different peoples in history. All right. So we want to point that out for edification purposes. Next slide, please. What you're seeing here, brothers and sisters, being circled with the highlight matter, are the tribes on the east side of the Jordan. This is why, and no disrespect intended, when people say, okay, the true land of Israel is in West Africa. Some people say Southern Africa. Some people say within the United States. We have to ask certain questions, or it can be asked. I don't want to tell someone what they have to do, but we can ask certain questions about where is the Jordan River and these lands that you're saying are the true land of Israel. If the water's dried up, then let's go over that particular matter in history. But for all intents and purposes, the children of Israel, even when you read into the book of Thucydides, it describes where the land of Israel was at. It talks about the Arameans. It talks about the Philistines. Brothers and sisters, there is a video on this channel called The Madness and Seeing the Land of Israel is in the Western Hemisphere. So we go over maps, details, scriptures, letting the book speak upon said matter. Now, getting back into this, the tribes on the east side of the Jordan. Reuben, this was the first tribe in Israel. The meaning is Reuben, behold the sun. Gad, this is the 7th tribe in Israel. The meaning is troop. Manasseh, this is understood to be a half tribe. Now, you get that when you go Joshua chapter 14. The meaning is causing to forget, in Hebrew stated as Menashe. The tribes on the west and east side of the Jordan. Now, what you're seeing here, brothers and sisters, we want to point out, all right, say with the laser pointer, these are from Dan, Naphtali, Zebulun, Issachar, Manasseh, Ephraim, Dan having 2 lands, Benjamin, Judah, and Simeon. That is on, as you Asher as well, sorry. This is on, brothers and sisters, the west side of the Jordan. Now, one of the things to point out, brothers and sisters, too, in history, is this thing, or people, should I say, called the Phoenicians. The Phoenician people were a mixture in a aspect of nationality between the Zidonians, who were Canaanites. That is to say, they were Hamitic people in part. All right. And when I say in part, Canaanites are truly all Hamitic, but I'm saying that the Phoenician kingdom or Phoenician empire was of Israelites and the Canaanites origin as an empire. So we want to point that out as well. All right. So this is the Mediterranean Sea, and this is something that we want to get into and talk about for edification purposes. All right. The Assyrian king Tiglath-Pileser attacked Israel in 734 BCE. 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 29. That is a portion you can read. I wanted to show that so you can read that in your own time and volition. This is why we ask you all to get your pens, your pads, and your paper and take notes. As for Nahum, I overthrew him like a snowstorm, and he fled like a bird along and bowed to my feet. I returned him to his place and imposed tribute upon him, gold, silver, linen, garments, and I received from him all the inhabitants and their possessions. I led to Assyria. They overthrew their king Pekah, and I placed Hosea as king over them. As their tribute, gold and silver, I brought to Assyria. Statement from Tiglath-Pileser concerning the Israelites. Now, Tiglath-Pileser is a king who ruled in the land of Israel as a tyrant, but he was an Assyrian king. When I'm saying that he ruled in the land of Israel, is because he was able to defeat the tribes of Israel. So when we read in Isaiah chapter 1, it says, strangers devour your land in your presence. This is what we're talking about. All right. So if there's any questions or comments, please feel free to put it inside of the chat. Sargon in Hebrews. 725 to 722 BCE, Shalom and Sar attacked Israel, which was completed by Sargon II in 721 BCE. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 1 through 6. What too was transpiring concerning the world then was Egypt was ruled by the Ethiopians. The king of Egypt was named Shabaka of the 25th dynasty. Property of Sargon, king of Assyria, conqueror of Samaria, and the entire country of Israel, called Beit Umari, meaning the house of Omri. At the beginning of my royal rule, I was led as booty, 27,209, and made the remaining inhabitants assume their positions. I installed over an officer of mine and imposed upon them the tribute of former kings. Statement of Sargon concerning the Israelites. So, brothers and sisters, we read earlier here, right, about a statement made by Tiglath-Pileser, and we see here a statement made by Sargon. Sargon was the eventual ruler of the Assyrian people, and he's mentioned in the Bible in Isaiah chapter 20. So, brothers and sisters, we don't want to sit there and minimize the situation that happened with the Israelites. So when we're calling this from Jerusalem to the hood, we want to go over as meticulous as possible online, all right, concerning the type of situation we're dealing with. In 701 BCE, Sennacherib of Assyria attacked the city of Lachish. Isaiah chapter 36, verse 1. Lachish was a city that was given to the tribe of Judah. When you go to Joshua chapter 15. When, as time went on, Judah as a kingdom fell to the Assyrians, then the Babylonians. Lachish was a city that amazingly was still thriving. So the city itself was conquered, but as time went on, there were still people in it and so forth. The style of the Assyrians was to sit there and have it to where you wasn't killed all the time, per se. You understand? But was more so demoted in your own kingdom. We read earlier that Tiglath-Pileser spoke about putting their own governors over the people and so forth and so on. So it's about a hegemony, rulership kind of matter, imperialism, if you will. I rule here and there, if you will. Sennacherib spoke of Lachish. Sennacherib, king of the world, king of Assyria, seated himself on the throne, and the prisoners of Lachish marched before him. No one among them has set his mind or given thought to widening the site of the city, to building a wall, to straightening the streets, to digging canals or planting orchards, nor had anyone considered applying his skill to the palace therein. But I, Sennacherib, king of the world, king of Assyria, it came into my mind to perform that task. So, brothers and sisters, what we want to point out in that particular matter is the fact that the Assyrians spoke upon capturing the Israelites. So what happened in time, brothers and sisters, when the Israelites haven't been taken into captivity? Some of them coming from the tribe of Judah, some of them coming from the tribe of Levi, and so forth and so on. We're going to, brothers and sisters, with the time allotted, knowing the kind of history that we want to bring out, go over this PowerPoint in detail as much as possible. Assyria begins to fall, brothers and sisters, to Babylon. Egypt tries to go and help the Assyrians. But the Babylonians, now in their 26th dynasty, have it to where the Egyptians were not able to help anybody. So when you read later on in Ezekiel that it as a piercing of a needle from a bush, when you lean upon it, it pierces through your hand. It doesn't sit there and become reliable. Like the song, Lean on Me, Brother, the Egyptians were not able to be relied upon for assistance. So, brothers and sisters, Babylon is now going to be coming up as a kingdom. The Babylonians are going to sit there and take over the known world at that time in the ancient world. And they are going to become an empire. They are going to become great. And brothers and sisters, in closing out, we ask you all, again, to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good Sabbath, and we shall speak. Most I be with you all. Stay tuned for when we're going to go into part 2. Shalom.